Well, what's going on, Wolfpack Federation? And if you did not see AEW Revolution, you may want to hold off to watching this. Spoiler alert. So, we're going to give you the full review on AEW Revolution, what we like, what we didn't like. And at the end of the review, we'll let you know what we thought. Was this pay per view worth it to watch, or was it a bust? But before we get to all that goody stuff, let me give a quick shout out to the sponsor. Make sure you check in with my Brody, Money Fresh Clothing at moneyfreshclothing.com. And when you ride with the Wolfpack Federation, guess what? You're going to save some money here. That's right. We want to save you money here. Don't want you spending more than you have to. So put in code Wolfpack. You're going to get 10% off your entire order at checkout. Why pay more if you can pay less? Now, AEW Revolution 2026, we got a stack card. Right off the bat, the main event will be MJF defending the world title against Adam Page in a Texas strap match. And we'll get to it when we get, like I said, it's the main event, so we'll get to that after. Now, I didn't watch the full 0 hour, but I watched what was more important of the 0 hour, and that was Ricochet defending the national title in a battle royal. Hey, he did good. Ricochet outlasted everybody, and it ended up him and Jungle Boy in the end going back and forth where you did not know who was going over that top rope. There was so many times where you thought Ricochet was winning, Jungle Boy's winning. No, Ricochet's winning. But Jungle Boy Jack Perry, he got the W. As you see the picture right there, we got him holding the national championship. And this ended up kicking into the beginning of the shows, this match. Even though it started on 0 hour, it ended up really technically being the first match of the pay-per-view. And hey, he looks real good with that new belt. Then after that match, we went right into the Young Bucks versus FTR for FTR's AEW World Tag Team Championships. Young Bucks going back to their roots. And their entrance right off the bat was over the top awesome. They brought out all their kids, all dressed in the same gear as them. So any family man out there could absolutely appreciate this. It really was awesome. Great entrance. Probably one of the best entrances of the night. Then you got FTR coming out with Stokely. Stokely still pretending that he can't walk in the wheelchairs, of course. And the attire they went with tonight, as you can see, it's a yellow and green, being Boston, since this pay-per-view was in California. They wanted to take shots at the Young Bucks' hometown with that Boston Celtics attire. And just like every Young Bucks match, fast-paced, unbelievable spots, back and forth wrestling where you are going back and forth on who's going to pull it out, who's going to get this W. And every time these teams take each other on, it's going to be an unbelievable match. Unfortunately, myself, I was going for the Young Bucks to bring that gold home, but FTR prevailed, and they are still the AEW Tag Team Champions. But at the end of this match was where we actually get our first surprise of the night. The music hits, and none other than Edge, aka Adam Copeland, comes out first. He lets everybody know also that he's not alone. Christian's music hits, and everybody thinks Christian's going to come out next, but instead Christian comes out from the crowd behind FTR, sneaks up behind them, takes out one of them, then Adam runs in, and they take out FTR and Stokely, giving them a nice whooping. And just like it says in the picture, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage return for revenge against FTR at AEW Revolution 2026. This was our first big blockbuster surprise, and it was awesome. The crowd was going with it. Everybody was on their feet cheering. Just an all-around awesome, fun time. So far, this pay-per-view is hitting on all levels. No complaints. Of course, I would have wanted the Young Bucks to win, but that doesn't ruin a pay-per-view. Not when they had the match they had with FTR. Following this match, we go over to the lovely ladies. And we got none other than Toni Storm versus the Death Riders First Lady, Shafir. This was a hard-hitting match. There was so many shots going back and forth with these ladies that let somebody watch this match and say that these women don't hit as hard as the men. No. You are lying through your teeth if you say anything of that sort. They put on such a hard-hitting match. The shots back and forth at times had me going, ooh. And it's very rare I'm going, ooh, ah, ooh, that hurt. So, wow. Great match. And who we wanted to win ended up getting that W, Timeless Toni Storm. But even if Shafir would have pulled out the W, I don't think it would have been that a huge loss because the Death Riders are really over right now. Well, at least with me. Everybody's got their own opinion. So Toni Storm is celebrating at the top of the ring. She's laying down doing the thing like she's swimming on the floor. And then next thing you know, we get our next big surprise for tonight. And none other than Ronda Rousey. We have not seen Ronda Rousey in a wrestling ring since WWE. So I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm hoping that this is not a one-off and that we're going to see Ronda Rousey back. She's also good friends with Shafir. So as she's calling out Toni to come back to the ring, and of course Timeless Toni Storm fears no one. But when she got back into Ronda Rousey, everybody tried separating them, and Shafir ends up leveling her with a cheap shot with Ronda Rousey and Shafir arm in arm, hugging and laughing, leaving in the crowd like all Death Riders. And if Ronda Rousey is now AEW, does that also means then this is the newest member of the Death Riders. So there's a lot going on with this. And I am very interested to see where this is going to go. I just hope that it wasn't a one-off. And that's not this isn't the end of it. But just when you think that this pay-per-view can't get any better, we get none other than Jon Moxley, the AEW Continental Champion, defending his title versus the Alpha Takashi, who is New Japan's television champion, but his belt is not on the line. Only Moxley's belt is on the line. To me, this match, at this point, this was the match of the night to beat. Moxley and the Alpha was such a back and forth match. Some of the spots these guys were hitting, you thought they broke each other's neck at times. They were hitting each other's finishes. The Alpha never had someone kick out of his finisher. This was the first time someone ever kicked out of his finisher when he hit it. And then after Moxley got the 1, 2, 3, which he didn't pin him, he put him to sleep for the victory, which I think was the best way to end the match. So that way the Alpha didn't tap out, didn't get a 3 count, that he was so strong he wouldn't do either one, that he passed out. And you can't help being passed out when you get put to sleep. But then Moxley did the right thing. He offered his hand. The Alpha didn't take it at first, but then he did. As he was about to leave the ring, he thought about it, came back, they shook hands, showing that mutual respect. Yeah, they're not friends, but there's a mutual respect. If after two guys like this go to war the way they did, one-on-one, left their crew behind. That's the way you end it. Shaking hands with respect. At this time, we also got Pac, Daniel Garcia, and Wheeler Yuta on the outside of the ring. They're clapping along. And then this crazy promo comes up as they're about to leave. And it's kind of like a Frankenstein video type thing. And at first, I thought maybe PCO was being brought into AEW. Because, with that Frankenstein thing, but it wasn't. It was none other than the aerial assassin, Will Osprey. He's back. And not only is he back, he flew to that ring, taking out Mox. He whooped Pac, Daniel Garcia, and Yuta. And he let the Death Riders know that he's back and he's coming for all of them. This might have been one of the loudest points of this night. When everybody saw it was Will Ospreay was back. And at this point, this is our third surprise. So AEW, no one does that shock surprise better than AEW. Then we went into the women's tag team title match, where we had the Babes of Wrath versus the Divine Dominion. And unfortunately, on the 0 hour, Willow from Babes of Wrath had hurt her shoulder with these girls jumping her, but she still came out And that's what happens when you're a double champion. You got to defend both titles, right? They came out, they gave it their all, but unfortunately, without the Babes of Wrath at 100%, you're not beating the Divine Dominion. And we have brand new women's tag team champions. From there, we went to, this was a match. Swerve Strickland versus Brody King. This was wild. These are two big boys that went all out. No gold on the line for this one. You didn't need a title for this match. This was just a match of who's the toughest mother effer around. And Ace, I got to give it to Swerve. Whose house? Swerve's house. He got that W. But then after the match, that's where, we start getting a problem with how things went down. We had Swerve not want to leave the ring after. Instead, he decided that he was going to take Brody King, and put his head on a cinder block. And luckily, we got our next surprise. Kenny Omega is back from injury, from Swerve taking him out, and flew to that ring, saving Brody King. Otherwise, Swerve would have jumped off that top rope while Brody King's neck and head was on that cinder block, ending his career. That shit is wild. Like, yo, Swerve, come on, my man. You can't be doing that kind of shit. Then we went to the ladies for the AEW Women's Championship. Now, this was one hell of a match. We had a 2 out of 3 falls match. The champion was, I don't want to butcher her name, Tekla versus Chris Statlander. And the falls went like this. The first fall was a pin, went to a 1, 2, 3 pin count by the champ. The second fall went to the challenger, tied at 1-1. And then the champ got the last fall, giving her not only the victory and retaining her AEW Women's title over Statlander. Hard hitting, just like the rest of the card. Fun match to watch. I honestly thought Statlander was going to go over her. She's so much bigger than her, stronger than her. But she couldn't outdo her. Could not out-hustle her. And it showed. Then last but not least, we went into the championship match of the night. And before we do anything, I want to touch on MJF's attire. I thought it was so cool that MJF came out dressed as Terry Funk in the same attire, paying tribute to the legend. And this match was a Texas death match for the AEW World Title. These guys got color big time. You want to talk about match of the night? Oh, yeah. There was no shortage of blood, tables, those things. As you can see the picture of MJF on the second column on top. He got those things stuck in his head, a bunch of them. Oh, this match went crazy. Adam Page at one point was dog walked MJF back to the ring. It got to the point that neither guy was willing to give up until MJF was able to get Adam Page in a position where he was pretty much hanging him with the chain, and Adam Page was stuck on the outside with his legs dangling, being hung with the collar around his neck, and passed out with the ref being forced to stop the match. So he didn't give up, and he did not get counted out. The ref had no other choice but to stop this match. Otherwise, he would have died. He would have literally died if the ref did not stop this match after he went. So MJF retained his championship. MJF is still our AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Overall, this pay-per-view was fantastic. I think this might be the best wrestling pay-per-view of 2026 as of right now. I'm calling it. That's my personal opinion. I absolutely recommend, if you did not watch it, go back and watch it. This was not the pay-per-view to miss. And, you know, if you hung in this long and watched this entire video, thank you also for coming through. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. Tell a friend so we can be friends. Because when you hunt with the pack, you never hunt alone. And as always, everybody, stay hunting. To so